Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do their thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Alfred Stevens, and you're listening to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can follow Wrestling IQ 101 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can listen to us right here on YouTube. And today, my guest is legend. Wait for it. Derry, here we go. Jake Cage, how's it going, man?
I'm doing alright, how are you?
Good, man. So you're the legend. And how did that moniker come about?
Oh, the Legend Wait for Derry. So when I was doing the YouTube show with Grim and stuff and GCS, I ran into Jay and Joe, and they made the group Legendary, and I was like, I didn't really have like much of a gimmick, I guess technically. I used to say like, oh, I'm the best in New Jersey and all that stuff. Like, it was alright. Like, hey, you should join Legendary. So I kind of just took it and ran with that. I think they got it from a TV show, to be completely honest with you, but
yeah.
Jay goes more of the key now, and I don't know what Joe Wolf is doing, but yeah, I kind of just took the Legendary thing and just skyrocketed with it.
Yeah, it's one of the things that make you unique. It's it's on your Instagram, it's everywhere you go. And if you keep saying it right, people just start believing the hype.
Oh yeah, of course. It's nice and easy off the tongue. Nothing too long, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And not too short either. Right to the point.
Yeah, right. So growing up, you were a big part of. Your family was the major part of Jersey All Pro Wrestling, and of course, did you know like your childhood was a little bit different from like everybody else's?
Once I finally grew up and being in locker rooms with guys like, for example, Kenny Omega, one of the biggest wrestlers in the world, and looking back at it now, it's just crazy in my mind. Like, I used to get kicked out of the locker room by guys like Homicide, Kenny, Low Key, like all these guys. Like, I know they'll come to my house, for barbecue and stuff. It's just like crazy to think about that. Like, yeah, I definitely had a different childhood than most kids. I'll definitely say that. Yeah,
right? You got like the biggest wrestling stars like literally in your backyard, like you said. That's kind of crazy. I think a lot of kids would envy you.
Oh, yeah, trust me. I'm very thankful for the position I got put in as a kid.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, your dad was a big part of the Doghouse back in those early days of JAP. But you went and you did your training at H2O under Preacher, right?
Well, originally I was at Creative Pro in Jersey. And I've been I went to H2O I didn't go to H2O that long. Like, I talked to Preacher and stuff. I never got a chance to go there, but I had talked to him. The only actual training that I went through was Creative Pro. I was only there like 3 to 4 weeks, and then I had to get out of there because I had car problems, obviously. Like, that's not an excuse in wrestling. And I'm a lot more mature than I was back then. And I'm more into, like, the wrestling aspect, because as people know, I was a football player, and I was more focused on football than wrestling. But once I stepped away from the Creative Pro, I wanted to head back. I moved to Florida, so it's like I couldn't really go back, obviously. I live in a completely different other state.
Yeah.
But,
so, you talk about your dad passed, and that kind of kicked you in the butt to start wrestling, right?
Yeah, so he passed away in my junior year in high school. I wasn't doing great in my grades. I had scholarships for football, but then I didn't really have the greatest grades, and I'll admit that. Like, if I can go back and beat the crap out of my high school self, I was. Get your heart out of your ass. You go to Division I school for football.
Mm-hmm.
But, so my grades weren't working out, and then I was just chilling. I was in junior college, and I hit up Jay a while ago. So, like, I was like, I want to be a wrestler, this is that. I didn't want to be one in high school, but I was just so focused on football that I never got into, like, collegiate wrestling or anything like that. So, it was about I was wrestling, I think I was 19, so it was 2 years after. So just one day, I was like, I just wanted to be a wrestler. And then at first it was fun, and then I just kind of, like, felt like, I'm not going to lie, at first I was like a play wrestler, and then I just started, like, getting into the business, and then veterans in the locker room telling me how much potential I truly have for how green I am. It just, like, lit a fire under my ass, and, like, I'm actually, like, in love with the sport of wrestling now.
Well, it's great to hear because you're one of the standout talents, in the ring. I mean, and you've had some great matches. You've had some great opponents. The one person I want to ask you about, and you alluded to him just before, it was Jake Iadevaia. Do you prefer tagging with him, or do you prefer wrestling him? Because, I mean, there's been some like messed up stuff you've done to him.
It's magic either way, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
You can ask, any guys in wrestling. I've only been wrestling for about 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So I can't say, like, the connections I've had with the guys, but if you can just ask wrestlers in general, like, just certain guys can just make magic in a ring.
Sure.
Like you brought up, passion and stuff in the ring before, and, like, connections, like, look at Teddy Hart and Homicide for JAPW. They used to make 5-star matches all the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys just have that fire for each other. It's just, like, you want to... The thing about me and Jay, yeah, we broke up, but we had this competitiveness that we want to be better than each other. So when it comes to the ring, we make magic, whether we're a tag team or facing each other.
Sure, and that's the one cool thing about you guys, because like you alluded to, it doesn't matter what you guys are doing, as long as you're in the ring together, people can definitely feel that energy. And I can be honest with you, I felt that a couple times with watching you guys for sure.
I appreciate that, definitely.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Outside of the ring, what are things that people would be surprised you like? Are there like a TV show or a movie that you just kind of love or something like that?
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Disney.
Really?
Funny story about me. Before I went out for football games, I actually used to listen to The Climb by Miley Cyrus.
Really?
so there's a funny story. Yeah, I'm a big Disney person. I love Disney. Not really like in the princess stuff, but I love like Toy Story and all those like classic movies. Big Disney guy. Like I have a Disney Plus account. If there's like a new Disney movie out, I'm watching. I'm a big Star Wars nerd. I love my Star Wars. Like most wrestling fans are all nerds for Star Wars.
Yeah.
But,
so wait, do you prefer the Jedi side or the Sith side?
I love the Sith side. I'm so mad that Rey wasn't on that side of some Kylo Ren. I always want to get in that argument. I'm a big Star Wars. The thing was, my dad, quick story, the reason why I'm so into Star Wars and stuff, my dad used to sit there, like, sitting down and make lots of movies. Like, I've seen every Godzilla ever.
Uh-huh.
Like, even when it was, like, the slow motion, like, with clay, like, he made me watch that, like, and that's why, another thing is, too, like, he would make me watch such old wrestling, too, like, classic wrestling, instead of, like, the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why my style is kind of old school, but I want to get more into new school stuff. But
yeah.
That's what I grew up watching.
That's awesome. It's kind of awesome because I've been to Jersey All Pro. I went there a million times as a an older kid, and but the thing I always remembered, I never actually met your dad, but we did have an interaction once. I remember I was leaving the rec center, and he was like trying to sell some WWF DVDs, and he's like, "I'm just trying to get rid of this shit. It's like $2." I was like, "Yeah, I'll take it."
Always, yeah. He always tried. He always cared about his fans, being back to his fans. And I'm not saying my dad tried to always put on the best thing possible he could, and obviously he did. And yeah, he was very no filter kind of guy, just like me. Very don't care. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm saying. My show. This, that. I'm doing what I want to do. How he rolled, I carry the same attitude, whether in the ring or on a football field.
Sure. And I have to say, I mean, as sad as it was also a beautiful send off for at the JP tonight for the memorial that he had. I mean, wrestlers from WWE were taking out the time to tell stories and share memories of your dad. I mean, how awesome is that? Looking back, like, that they were so grateful their start.
I was just lost for words at the time. Like, I just that memorial right there, because like I kind of like. I'm not saying I never like got out of wrestling, but I just wasn't into wrestling for like 2 or 3 years. About like probably 2 years. I wasn't that big fan of wrestling. So what they're doing in WWE, and what happened with TNA, they turned to Impact, made the ring a four-square ring, some an octagon, just like little stuff like that as a wrestling fan. And I was a little out of it, and then I saw the Tron. I saw like guys like Sami Zayn, and Sammy Callahan, and then. Formerly known as Bandito Jr. on the screen. Like, it's just, like, it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy seeing that, like, and even, sadly, who passed, Luke Harper was JP's first ever heavyweight champion. So it's, like, it's just crazy to see stuff like that. Like, I really get lost for words of how much my dad did for the industry. Like, I don't even know how much he's done. Like, people in this industry know more that he's done for the industry more than me, and I already know how much he has done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm always grateful for what he did for me, because he entertained me and my friends for so many years, and I was devastated, and I didn't even know him personally, and when that happened, I was like, immediately I was like, I have to go to the show, because he did so much for Rawway, he did so much for the people of JP, and look at the people now. I mean, they're big stars. Like, people who almost everybody who's come through JP has become a major star, and it's pretty incredible.
It's just it's crazy in a way. And I give a big thanks to Sean Bennett, one of the main wrestlers in WWE now.
Sure.
Because he did. I believe, because I was just so out of it because what happened and stuff, and just like I wasn't. My mind wasn't there, if that makes sense. But I think he did something. He worked something with WWE, like he gave away tickets or something for a donation fund that went to us. Like, it was just, it's just crazy. I don't know. It's just insane. Like how many wrestlers reach out to me and like, yo, if you need help with this, and that. Like the day I moved to Orlando, Mike Orlando literally hit me up as the day I like announced I was moving to Florida, and he just whatever he needs, this and that. And like I had like 3 other wrestlers hit me up. I had Fidian hit me up. I just had a bunch of people hit me up. It's just like I'm so thankful for guys like that just look out for me because of what my father did, and I need to not take more advantage, but I need to be more thankful for guys like that instead of just saying, oh, okay, this guy hit me up. I have the potential to take advantage and have these guys actually help me become something in this business, And I need to open my eyes more.
Yeah, and it's cool that you're aware of that, because that's only going to help you in the future when people want to help you out, and it's cool that they're paying back to the man who helped everybody along the way, your dad. So it's pretty chill. I saw an old interview with you. You said that in a dream scenario you wanted to face either AJ Styles or Kenny Omega. Is that still the dream opponents? Have you added a couple people to that list?
Those are my 2 top guys. I know I just said Opinina. I meant Serpentico. I'm sorry. I messed up their names. But anyways, any of you guys, I really want Keith Lee. Like, I would love to wrestle Keith Lee because he's literally what I'm trying to be. He's not the big, he's obviously huge, but the guy's only like 6 foot. Mm-hmm. Because the build of a monster, and he moves like a cruiserweight. It's just like he has me on him. The guys I watch most film on is probably him and Joe, like classic TNA Joe. Oh
yeah. I gotta tell you, Samoa Joe is one of my favorites of all time. So I'm glad you said him.
He's all in it. I've met him many times. Speaking about TNA, my dad. I don't know if you remember. King Lethal actually won the X Division title in Rawway.
Oh yeah.
When they did the TNA and JP collab, and when we went to Orlando, this is what I'm just like. When I tell people the story that like wrestling fans are like, I got to walk around. I think it was Universal. I got to walk around Universal with Jeff Hardy. Like, it's just like stuff like that. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty. People don't get that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really got to walk around with Jeff Hardy Universal. Like, that's insane to think about, you know?
Yeah, it is pretty insane. Yeah. Oh, I remember the first time I went to JP, it was the House of Pain, and they had Samoa Joe versus Rhino, and I was like, holy shit! Like, and I felt like I robbed your dad and the people who like ran the show, because I was like, this match would be like, I don't know, $100 like anywhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
and I'm getting it for $20. So yeah, and that was
the Kenny and Loki matches are crazy too. So those should have been $100 matches too.
Yeah.
Loki and Kenny had crazy. Well, they had a bunch of crazy matches, like Roderick Strong and Roderick Strong is one. Like, it's just crazy to think like Adam Cole, like these guys, like crazy. It's absolutely insane in every fashion that they work for my dad.
Yeah,
and they're like the biggest stars in the world now.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because there's so many times, like you said, like I just walked in there and I paid $20 and I got like hundreds of dollars worth of matches, and I'm like, what the hell? Like,
you just wanted to make the fans happy at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I think that was part of the magic because he made it reasonable.
Exactly. He didn't make you overpay or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which I'm not shitting on anyone in the indies or anything like that, but you see guys like $25 for maybe you have one big name on the card. I don't know. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you charging wrestling fans? Like, some wrestling fans don't have the fortune of going to house events or, well, because of COVID, they can't, but like live events and like for WWE or even Impact or Ring of Honor or anything like that. And, all they can afford is this indie event, and you're not even giving them that good of a show, and you're charging them $25. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, I'm not going to say names or anything like that. I just see shows that do that. It's just like,
yeah, there's a couple that do that. Or they charge you, like, the day of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get blackballed by the industry. I'm not going to say any names. It's just what I say.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. But, yeah, definitely, like, your dad, he broke the mold on that one for sure. Let me ask you this. 2020 comes around, everything is moving along, and you're taking bookings and everything like that, and all of a sudden the world stops, right? How was it, like, not wrestling for a little bit?
So what's actually weird is that, when me and Jay were tagged together before we broke up, and he decided he wanted to retire the rest of next week, that's another story. We were booked until, I want to say, July. We were booked that long. Like, we had a booking every Saturday. So we broke up, and then right when COVID hit, I actually moved. So I didn't feel the effects of not wrestling because of COVID, because I flew back and I wrestled for TCW.
Okay.
And that's the last match I wrestled. I haven't wrestled in like 3 months. I haven't wrestled in a very long time, and I miss it so much. That's why I miss Jersey, but Florida's bettering myself in a way because I'm training down here, I'm working out, I'm bettering myself as a wrestler, and creating my character, and using more of my dad's name, using more of Jersey All-Pro as an actual thing to use in wrestling because it should be noticed more than what it is, even though, it's one of the... It's just, on top of JAPW, it's just one of the most known indies of all time. It's just insane. Like, I know people down here that know of it. It's in Florida. Like, it's just like, it's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's crazy because, worldwide wasn't just a slogan. It was really felt around the world. I mean, your promotion was up there with Ring of Honor, and it's high, and it's held in such high regards. I mean, it's not just me, but it's people around the world. I remember message boards would be like, JP's like phenomenal, and it's cool to see that.
It's definitely cool to see people literally around the world that knows my dad. Not people just like homegrown jerseys where the original, like Mayo, New Jersey, and Charity Hall. Like, that's the original hit squad with Mop and Mac always throwing people on a wall. Like, that's, those are the original OGs, but when I went to Raw Way and stuff like that and expanded, it's crazy how big it got.
Yeah. I always tell people Donald Trump's biggest fear are the hit squad because they were just throwing people through walls.
Oh, yeah. They literally would just take workers and just throw them through the walls. Like, Squash match would be literally, okay, you're going to throw them through the walls, and I don't care how you win.
Yeah. That's
how the business used to be. You literally get in there, you jog to a bigger guy, and if you get hurt, and take it. But now, it's much different.
And it was always impressive when it wasn't like a job team. Like if it was like LAX, like Hernandez.
Oh, yeah, and they still do it.
Yeah. You're like, what the hell? This is a wall.
For example, like when Crime Time had their, I think it was after the time of WWE, they went to my dad. We had Crime Time in LAX. Like,
yeah.
What? It's just crazy. Like back then, that's like a dream match to think of, you know?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like New Day in the Bucks. Like, we were just waiting for that somehow, but, you know. This is one of those type of events where it's like, damn, like, we're getting Crime Time with LAX really impact this former WWE, like, just nuts. TNI at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, talking about people who come through JAP, I mean, Biggie Biggs you've been in the ring with, Monster Mac, you know, Steve Lugo trained in the Doghouse. I mean, so many people, Magic. I mean, so many people you've been in the ring with that, you know, how is it getting in the ring with them and working with them? And they're a little tough, right?
Yeah, of course. It's crazy. They're a little stiff, definitely. A little stiff. Mac almost took my head off at the finish of our match. I was seeing stars at the end of that. I'm upset I didn't get to wrestle Danny. He got hurt on his show the night before in IPW. I think he separated his shoulder. He jumped off of like a 15-foot thing and separated his shoulder. So kind of upset for that. But I got John Wayne Murdoch, so it's like, you know, equals out. He's probably like the best match wrestler of the year. Or did win it, I'm pretty sure, for ICW. But it's just like, it's crazy because I don't know if you've listened to this call. I want Danny Moss to win life itself. I want to wrestle Danny so bad. Danny and Homicide are like the mega bosses. Those are the guys that I want the most on the NBC, is those two guys.
Really?
Those are like my two dream JAC guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think it's kind of crazy you picked those two because those are the two guys that everybody runs away from.
Listen, I've been facing 350-pound guys my whole entire life.
Yeah.
I was willing to take a hit from Moss for getting outworked by Homicide. So I know Homicide was going to try to make me throw out 2 minutes into the match. So. And Moss, I've always wanted to work Moss. He was actually one of the trainers there when I was with that too, but then he got signed to Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I mean, and that was awesome when he went back to Ring of Honor, but
he deserves it. I've been saying it for years. He should be on the next level. I've been saying it his whole career. I've been one of his biggest fans. And when I was little, I used to cry for him getting hurt and stuff. I was really unmarked for that guy, but now I'm a wrestler. I can't say kind of stuff like that. But, you know, it's like I said, I have very filter like my father and speak my mind and stuff like that. But that's one guy I definitely wanted to get him off. I know how close he was to my father and how much he did for my dad in professional wrestling in Jersey also alone. So.
Yeah, I mean, he was the champ that you know, he was like the face of the company for so long.
Oh, yeah, he was the face for like the following 2-3 years, and then Kenny came in.
Yeah.
Face for a little bit, and they got signed to New Japan.
Yeah, I mean, that was some great times. Let me ask you this. Why number 72?
So, what's funny is that my favorite football number my whole life was 44. I wore 44 my whole life. And I get the freshman year in football, and my high school was very serious. Times were a very serious school. At the time, I was, you know, that good. I played a little fullback in Pop Warner because, you know, I'm bigger than those kids. So I'm fat. I know that. I'm bulky. And they're like, what number do you want? And one of my favorite Giants of all time is Francisco Mueller, and he used to wear number 72. So my freshman year, I'm like, I'll be 72. And the next year, I'll be 99 because I love JJ a lot. All right, cool, I'll be 91, whatever. So I was 72 my freshman year, and this was just stuck with me. I was 72 my whole high school career. For junior college, I was 72. So I've been 72 pretty much like I was 72 for like 7 years. And even like my all-star games, my all-county games, my all-conference games, they gave me 72 over kids that deserved it over me. But it's crazy. That's why I picked 72. Like, even like my license plate back home, like my mom did for my birthday, it'd be funny to go 72. So I used to be a dick. So I used to call myself a goat, which I'm clearly not. But I used to say it to be a douche. And that's where 72 came from, like the football number. So I just basically played my own thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's cool to hear. That's a pretty nice little story. So yeah, now that you're in Florida, I mean, you're eyeing up different places and training. What's the end goal for you? I mean, do you want to go to WWE? Do you want to go to AEW, or do you want to just carve your own path? I
kind of want to carve my own path in the way that. so obviously I'm thankful, like, this whole call, like, basically based off my dad, like, you know, it's what my dad did, this and that.
Yeah.
I get how much my dad did from, you know, the company and stuff like that, but I want to be known as Jake Iadevaia. You know what I'm saying? Where, like, you talk about, because I'm also eventually going to change my name to Jake Iadevaia and use my shoot name instead of Jake Cage. There's just too many people in this goddamn industry uses Cage, so it's like, it's not original.
Okay.
Like, there's no Iadevaia walking around, so it's like, I want to carve my own path. Like, yes, I'm known as the son of Fat Frank, but I want to be known as the son of Fat Frank that flopped. I want to be the son of Fat Frank that overachieved with Jake Iadevaia and got to the big spots. I want to go, whether it's Impact, whether it's AEW, whether it's WWE or another company pops up in 10 years, whatever. Whatever company lets me do what I want to do and let me be me, that's where I want to go. I don't want to go somewhere where they try to change who I am and what I stand for, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it's amazing because I'm thinking back to some of the matches you've had in your career. You know, there's people like Mason Martin you've been in the ring with. You know, of course, Tony Emerald, Nathan Mustang, and of course, you know, Grimm and John Wade Murdoch. You know, Fox Vineyard. I mean, these are like a who of up and coming wrestlers. Some of them are stables here in the independent scene. That when you look across the ring against some of these guys here, I mean, is it like looking at some of your opponents on the football field?
It's just like, here's the thing. So here's the same thing that happened with football. Like, right before I head out, like, you know, the whole week I had a scouting report. Sam found some guy named Bob Martin. I don't know, some random name. And I had to study Bob Martin all year. I had to study fundamental studies, I studied strength. I do the same thing with my guys I'm booked with. Depending on when I'm booked with them, I'll really study a month of what they do in the ring. And then before I hit that curtain, before I go on that football field, I'm nervous as hell. But once I go out that tunnel on the field and once I go out that curtain, it's just game time. I'm locked in on my character. I'm ready to work whoever I need to work. If I need to put him over within 3 minutes and be his spot, is what I got to do. I'll make him look like gold. That's what I'm more worried about in wrestling, making my guy look good than me look good. So I know how good I can look, but nowadays wrestling, people are looking more into how good can you make someone look. Mm-hmm. Not can you get your shit in 5 minutes. It's how well you can sell, how well you can get up, how well you can sell to the crowd, that kind of stuff. That's more interactive.
Yeah.
But like that stuff about Jersey, I could have been booked for probably, you know, till now, like through COVID, like getting booked by guys like TCW. Like I was one of the stables in TCW before I left. I was supposed to be one of those, you know, fire burners, but I wasn't for it now, obviously. And I know I'm not that big of a name to be flying. Yeah, I will be. If that's a promise to whoever's listening to this and you, I will be a big enough name where I have to be flown somewhere. That's a promise. Right now, it's just not that time because I know my worth, you know. I would be booked a lot in Jersey, but with Florida, I don't think I'm ready yet for Florida, if that makes sense. Like Jersey, when I come out that curtain, I know I'm either getting booed or it's lighting up like fireworks. Like my crowds know me in Jersey. And I have to get used to the fact that people don't know who I am. So it's kind of like restarting who I am, but I still want people to know who I am, if that makes sense. Like in Jersey, I'm known. So once I come out that curtain, I know I'm going to get some sort of reaction from at least one fan of that crowd. Florida, when I first come out, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? And I have to put on either a great match or make my guy look gold and to get eyes on him.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. This is going to be a pretty tough question. Now that you're in Florida, how do you survive without Wawa?
Oh, there is a Wawa.
There is?
It's on like 15 minutes away from me, yeah. Wawa has everything Florida has everything but, they don't have, what's what they have? Oh, they don't have Italian delis, so I'm Italian. They don't have Italian delis. They don't have Italian bread. Anything Italian, they don't have, you know, breakfast. They don't have bagels. Like, it's just like, like the main Italian stuff, like, I want my bacon, egg, and cheese when I wake up on a everything bagel, toasted. Can't get that. Kosher buns, they don't have either. Anything Italian, they just don't have. Even though bagels aren't Italian, but still, it's just on a rank here. Because they have everything. Like, Spanish food is great down here. Kosher food is fucking great. They just don't have Italian stuff. But you know, it's better for me that they don't have that kind of stuff. But. for my, actual health. So.
You're going to have to bring some family down there and have them showing the people of Florida some good cooking.
I literally, when I went to, so what's funny is that every time I came, like, I went to Jersey, 3 times since I've been down here. So I would go, to CCW or Grim. I would fly back with, bagels and mozzarella and, funny Italian bread. Like, I'd fly down with everything. In my bag would smell like pure sesame seeds and moss. It's just funny.
That's great.
My grandma comes down in a week, but she's driving, so she gets to bring all stuff now. Because no vegetable cream cheese here either. Like, I'm dying. No vegetable cream cheese either. Like, ugh.
Wow, that's crazy. So at least you're bringing a little bit of home when you come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. I love visiting. I love flying up. I love the fact that when I did my last wrestling match was at CCW, it's just the crowd reaction when I got out of that curtain was, I just loved it, Like I said, it's like, that's my home zone,
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you this. Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl this year?
The Chiefs, without question. So obviously everybody on this listening, even I'm pretty sure I'm a huge Giants fan, one of the biggest Giants fans in your life. I love the way, I said Giants, right? Yeah. I was making sure that's the Giants, yeah. My second favorite team is the Ravens. I love Ray Lewis. He's one of the inspirations I got into football. They got eliminated. But literally, since week 1 of this year, nobody is going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And the only people that have a chance out are the Bills because Patrick Mahomes got hurt. If Patrick Mahomes plays, they will win that game and go on to face who I think will probably be the Packers in the Super Bowl and the Chiefs. I have the Chiefs. If Patrick Mahomes plays, if not, then I have the Packers in that episode.
All right, so
Brady goes to the Super Bowl.
You got the scoop here about the Super Bowl, so I can't. We got to see if those predictions come true. Yeah, I mean, this has been pretty insightful, man, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing. I'm excited that you're in Florida. I'm excited that you're going to take on some new challenges and reinvent yourself because, I mean, you got the tools to do it. You got some experience up here in Jersey over the last couple of years, like you alluded to earlier, and now it's just time to put it all together, right?
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. I just got to get off my ass, get myself in waiting, and get myself to a school.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see what the future holds because, like you said, the legacy continues with you, and it looks bright, man. And of course, where can people get you on social media if they want to connect with you, if they want to follow you?
So what's funny is that everyone asks what I do for down here. I actually am pretty popular on TikTok. I have 109K followers on TikTok, which is funny.
Wow.
My TikTok is Jake Iadevaia72. My Instagram is _Jake_Iadevaia. And you find me on Twitter on Jake_Cage. TikTok's where I post 4 or 5 times a day, whether it's wrestling, football, dancing, all that. I have over 4.6 million likes on there. TikTok's like anything now.
That's crazy.
It's wrestling and TikTok, yeah. It's pretty cool. It's awesome. It's like TikTok is not reinventing my wrestling career, but it's helping me get through the fact that I can't interact with fans because I'm not wrestling. I haven't wrestled in 3 months, You know wrestling fans, we're very impatient people. If they haven't seen me in 3 months, they don't give a shit in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? That's how we work. We're very impatient. Especially when it comes to industry. So TikTok, I can interact with people every single day. I'm live 3-4 times a day on there. And yeah, that's my biggest social media platform is definitely TikTok. That's where I'm most active on.
Yeah. Can I see one last thing before we wrap this up real quick?
Yeah.
If you haven't, just go on YouTube, right, and type in Jake Cage wrestler. You're gonna find a plethora of great matches, and that's for sure.
That's my YouTube. Oh yeah, my YouTube too is Jake Cage 72. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's incredible matches you're gonna find.
My match with Steve is on there. My match with Hugo is on that page, Jake 72. My match with Steve Mack is on there. My match with John Murdoch is on there. John Wayne Murdoch is on there. Steve Lugo's on there. Nate Mustang, I'm pretty sure, is on there. D&J's last ever tag match is on there. Yeah, if you look up JK's, he'll do a variety of matches. You also see it on GPS, obviously. I wrestled there for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And you can see me and Jay's last ever match on also GPS Wrestling too.
Yeah, so absolutely. If you haven't checked them out, just type in that name and you'll find them. And for us, this has been Wrestling IQ 101. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. If you go on YouTube, you can follow us. You can hit the subscribe button. You'll hear this interview. You can check out past interviews and future ones coming up. And we'll see you guys really soon.